They are rank and bitter anger, they are all.
Hi, sorry we're late.
They are fear and blind suspicion, they are apathy and pride. They are dark and soul foreboding, and they're oh so very wide. They are fear and blind suspicion, they are apathy and pride. They are dark and soul foreboding, and they're oh so very wide.
Hi, just go on your computer and type in Bridges YouTube Bridges Programming, and it's live right now. And then maybe you can be able to join
Figure out
us.
a way to join us.
But I have you on speaker now.
And
let us build a bridge of music.
And then Susan's going to do the introduction, and we may be able to get you on.
Let us span
so
another
please
canyon.
go on,
Let us
type in Bridges Programming live.
oh, and if someone should ask us where we're off and bound today, we will tell them building bridges and be off and on our way. Oh, and if someone should ask us where we're off and bound today, we will tell them building bridges and be off and on our way. We will tell them building bridges and be off and on.
We will tell them building bridges and be off and on our way. This is Jeff Beller. We're on Bridges Programming. This is also, we're trying to run this program for Renew the Earth. You'll see it on our.
this is a special
it's a special program,
broadcast.
a special broadcast because of what we're trying to do to honor the servicemen of in this part of the week. And Bill Holmberg, he started the Young Marines, and he suggested we do this program.
This is a particularly special occasion because there's an award being given to a young Marine today.
Right.
And it's the first one in the name of Pete Hilgartner. And there's several things that we need to try to define.
Right.
One is, what are the young Marines? And then also, who was Pete Hilgartner? And why this award is being given in his name to a young Marine.
Now we're waiting
it's for community service.
We are waiting for the young Marine who's being awarded to try to figure out how to get to us. We did it last night, so if you want to see the young Marine we're awarding to, there was a test show last night, and it came out quite well. Unfortunately, the actual program we're trying to do is not coming out as well.
Well, we haven't got him on the screen
so
yet,
maybe he can figure out how to get here, but we're going to try
eventually
this.
he will figure it out, because we've invited him several times over the email, and we're hoping that it'll work out.
Okay, so anyway, so I have him on the phone here, and we're doing this from Kennedy Space Center, and it's in Cocoa Beach, but
it's Cape Canaveral,
and 7 astronauts started this hotel, which is sort of appropriate for where we are. We are now, and then Susan's going to read a little bit about what we're trying to do to honor this lieutenant, this colonel.
Well, yeah, but I wanted to. Should I define what the Young Marines
Sure,
are
go right
about
ahead.
first? And the Young Marines program. And this week, in particular, I'm just going to read a little bit from their website, which is Young Marines, a national youth organization. And they actually, I'll just read the mission right at the bottom of the page here. The mission of the Young Marines is to positively impact America's future by providing quality youth development programs for boys and girls that nurtures and develops its members into responsible citizens who enjoy and promote a healthy, drug-free lifestyle. Their motto, strengthening the lives of America's youth. And I think this program has been, 16, 18 years?
Quite a while, yeah.
And our friend, and Jeff's very good friend for the last 40 years, Lieutenant Colonel Bill Holmberg was one of the originators of this Young Marines program, and his friend Colonel Pete Hilgartner, who died recently, Bill Holmberg wanted to create an award in Pete Hilgartner's name that would honor a young Marine for their community service. And this week, the young Marines are participating in a lot of activities to honor the nation's veterans. This is the week of honoring veterans. It mentions on the website various activities. They contribute they do projects. They visit hospitalized vets, help veterans with their homes if they need work done, they create social functions where vets will come together with the community and socialize and communicate about their lives and what they've done. And so this is a very important aspect of the Young Marines program. And they're very much involved in
community
counseling
right.
and their community.
A lot of community work.
Yeah, community work that would provide food where it's needed, but also counseling about, staying away from drugs that'll, horribly change your life when you're very, very young, and then you just don't get a chance to develop
To
who
help
you
the
could
society
be, or
around
help
you,
each
right.
other, or even develop your own potential. So there's a lot of they have another statement here on the website, closing the gate on drugs. So these are youngsters that are very motivated to help their communities. And today we're honoring one individual. This is the first of an annual. This will be an annual award, but this is the first one, and it'll be given in Colonel Pete Hilgartner's name, Community Service Award, and it's going to be given to Young Marine Sergeant Jascha J. And so we're going to try to get his actual face on the.
A matter of fact, I got to tell you that last night we did a test show and it came out really well. And it was quite a good show, excepting that we tried to do it again this morning, and for some reason or other, we sent the invite to him and he can't find the invite. So
on his email,
if you can possibly, he may just pop up on our screen, and when we do that, we can talk with him directly. And I tried also calling him through Skype, and again, I'm getting someone else's phone number. So there's something crossed, but it wasn't crossed. If you want to see the young Marine who we're interviewing and giving the award to, you can go on YouTube Bridges Programming for yesterday's date, and you'll see the test show. And we did a great show last night.
Well, that's okay.
So anyway,
you have to do it, and technology is not perfect, and none of us is perfect. So
I have him on the phone now. Were you able to refresh the show?
Do you have him on speaker?
Yes. Were you able to refresh the show and see what's going on the show now? Ely?
Yes, sir. I do hear you.
Okay. Were you able to find us on the computer?
The program
I am watching right now.
Oh, okay. Now, is there any way that you can look at your email and see if you got the invite so we can get you on?
You might want to hold his responses so people can hear. Yeah,
Okay, let me see if I can try one more time to invite you.
Meanwhile, I'm going to read some more about the Young Marines, okay?
Okay.
Here's a page here, our programs, who we are. The Young Marines program is a lot of things to its participants. We are most proud of the recognition we received from winning the Fulcrum Shield Award for the Drug Enforcement Agency on 4 separate occasions. The Fulcrum Shield Award is presented annually in conjunction with National Red Ribbon Week, recognizing outstanding drug abuse prevention, education, and outreach efforts. We offer equal opportunities for adventure to boys and girls ages 8 through 18. And who we are not. The Young Marines program is not a program for youths with serious disciplinary problems, substance abuse issues, or lengthy histories in juvenile court. Participation in your community. The Young Marines program encourages unit participation in local civic activities, such as providing color guards for athletic events, marching in local parades, and activities promoting and reinforcing good citizenship. And then experiencing outstanding opportunities is another category. The Young Marines program offers its participants a variety of experiences, from encountering the outdoors in a variety of challenging ways to meeting notable veterans and political figures, to participating in solemn ceremonies on days of remembrance, such as Memorial Day, Veterans Day, and in recent years, commemoration ceremonies honoring veterans of Pearl Harbor. Along the way, Young Marines learn the values of discipline and teamwork, the fundamentals of land navigation, rank structure, and much more, such as self-respect and respect for others. So there's kind of an overview of what the Young Marines are about. And there was, at the very opening page, it says they just received $50,000 donation from the Glock company, the Glock Pro Training Facility in Smyrna, Georgia. And that has to do, when I read on further, with education about how to stay away from drugs. And
well,
so
I just sent him another invite. Did you get that invite on your email by some chance?
As of now, no, sir.
Try to refresh it and see if it pops up.
No, not yet, sir.
Okay, well, anyway, we'll have to do it like this. You'll be able to see the Eli on our test show yesterday. That seemed to have worked fine. However, this show is not. The reason why we're doing the program is because, first of all, we need to honor people who spent a lot of their life helping other human beings. And the reason for the program, the impetus behind Bridges programming and Renew the Earth, is a concept that is called the Human Renewable Energy Measure. And we've been trying to figure out what's wrong with our system. Why are people only concerned about how much money they can make instead of helping humanity? And this Human Renewable Energy Measure that you see on your screen now is probably, we think, is a missing link for what it's a measurement that says all human beings working 1 hour a day will have their basic needs met, not their wants. And what the Young Marine, and where this works the best, my friend asked me about this, and I said it works the best in the service, in the military service, because when you join the service, your basic needs are met. Basic training, basic needs, your education, food, and shelter are met. And the harder you work, of course, the better the higher your rank. But you can be very comfortable as a private first class forever. However, you put in a little bit of time and you have your basic needs met. So if you're in the way we talked about it yesterday on the test show, is there was a natural progression from supporting to get Young Marines to be involved, but they actually started to help people, and they started to grow to be a social justice service, an asset for all of humanity. And that's the way the HRM is, and that's the way, and Renew the Earth talks about, talks about
renewable
energy and projects from all over the world that really help humanity. And recently, the Pope just mentioned that we need to change the way we do our economic system. And we think that the HRM is a missing link for that. And again, we're trying to do the best we possibly can do, is get as many people together to talk about the Human Renewable Energy Measurement, the HRM.org, the HRM.org.
And that's what's sponsoring.
And that's what's sponsoring all this stuff.
But we're also saying that that this is a special program to talk about, this particular award. that's
Right.
being
And I'm really sorry we can't give.
and I want to go on to say who
Go ahead.
Colonel Pete Hilgartner
Go ahead.
was, and this is a piece that was written about Colonel Pete Hilgartner by Lieutenant Colonel Bill Holmberg, and I'm just going to read it straight up, and then you'll see, why this award is being made in his name. Peter Hilgartner enlisted in the Marine Corps in 1945. After boot camp on Parris Island, he worked his way into the Naval Academy Preparatory School. He passed all examinations and entered the academy in 1947, graduated as a second lieutenant in 1951, and was sent on to the Marine Officers Candidate School. After graduation and a short course in artillery, he was off to Korea as an artillery observer to direct fire against the enemy. He received the Bronze Star with Combat V for meritorious conduct. He then qualified as an infantry troop commander and as captain commanded an infantry company, and concurrently served as a camp commander in Okinawa. He was then transferred to Beaumont, Texas, as a reserve rifle company commander and instructor. Promoted to major, he was sent to Hawaii as the ground assault forces and unconventional warfare officer. He was awarded the Navy Commendation Medal for services on the Sink-Pack Fleet staff. Then he was off to Vietnam, where he became the operations officer of the 7th Marine Regiment. As a major, he was assigned as commanding officer of 1st Battalion, 5th Marine Regiment. While in the field, he was promoted to lieutenant colonel and commanded his battalion longer than any Marine battalion commander during the war. During this time, he received the Silver Star, the Legion of Merit, and the Vietnamese Cross of Gallantry with Palm and Gold Star, 2 awards. He was promoted to colonel USMC while a staff officer, Headquarters Marine Corps, where he received his 2nd Navy Commendation Medal. He was reassigned to Vietnam, where he served as operations officer of COM US MAC-V. He returned to the U.S. and graduated from the Navy Postgraduate School in Monterey, California, where he received a master's degree in management. He then returned to headquarters U.S. Marine Corps, where he served until he retired in 1972. Colonel Hilgartner then launched his new career in the brokerage investment business, where he rose to the position of vice president investments with NYSE-listed firm Legg Mason Wood Walker, Inc. He excelled in his new career. Throughout his life, Peter Hilgartner diligently supported his community. As a boy in Texas, as an outstanding Marine, as a successful businessman, and as a hardworking retiree. Whenever possible, he and his family attended an extensive garden. He was past president of the McLean Rotary Club, founder and past president of the Northern Virginia Brittany Club. His 7 Oaks Brittany Spaniels won many AKA awards in dog shows and field trials. That's interesting. Peter Hilgartner was instrumental in leading the Great Falls Memorial Committee after September 11, 2001, with his wife Sarah and a dedicated community. The Great Falls Memorial is a focal point for community patriotic activities and remembrance of those who have fallen in service of their country. He was honored on Memorial Day 2015 at the site with the dedication of a white oak and plaque in his honor. He loved animals and gardens. He was involved in most of the special events in his community, and Pete was most always available with a helping hand to support community events. Although a big hunter, he was an ardent protector of wildlife and their habitat. Whether fighting for his country, providing for his family, sharing, and many times leading in his commitment to his neighbors and his community, and creating new concepts to the betterment of all, Colonel Peter Hilgartner was a great American, and his service to our country live on.
Well, that's the tribute to a fellow who devoted his life and literally devoted his life to the military and community service. And unfortunately, we our young Marine who's in the right path for that is not being able to get on to our live show. But
you can have him speak on the speakerphone.
I'll try to have you speak on the speakerphone,
and
if that's
we'll
okay.
introduce, and you can bring in the voice close to the mic.
Okay, let me see if I can get you. Okay,
So
I'm going to put you
can
on.
ask him questions about what he's been doing with the young Marines, and talk about the young Marines, and see how that comes out.
Let's see how this comes out. If you can talk loud over the phone, I'm going to try to interview you over the phone, because for some reason or other, my Skype is not, when I type you in, I'm not getting you, I'm getting someone else. And when I try to call, and you can't seem to get us on your email.
So close to you.
So anyway, let me see how you're doing.
He can't hear you probably.
Okay, go ahead. I'm introducing you to the program, so see if this will work. Let's try this. Go ahead.
Speak, Ely.
Ely, are you there?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay,
that's great.
Well, you go ahead, start talking.
We're gonna see how your voice comes out over the air now.
Okay, all right, and
Oh, it's fine.
I just wanted to say thank you for everything right now at the beginning. Starting out with this citation award, it's a very great opportunity that I was given. Thank you for bringing this out, for honoring Colonel Peter Hilgartner. Also, I do want to thank my unit for supporting me and helping me build my community service. And you can for helping me build that. And I also want to thank my parents for pushing me on to be a good working boy as I grew up. To know that helping others and fulfilling the needs is what is required growing up to be a good citizen. And I can see now that it all came out to become work. So first off, for the young Marines, as she said, is a program that is developed to turn boys and girls aged 8 to 18 into good citizens, to turn them into good kids. We're not trying to make Marines. We're trying to have them grow up, learn how to have a drug-free life, learn that our veterans served and that they deserve their proper respect and recognition, and that community service is required as a proper citizen of America. So I've been in the program for, I believe, 6.5 years. It has been a very long trip. I have transferred from unit to unit only 2 times, and advanced from a very inactive unit in the Young Marines to a very active unit in the Young Marines. I was a private for a very long time, but then I got into the motive that if I want to move on in the Young Marines, I need to find something that I'm good at or that I can do and that I want to progress in. Take that and move on. And one of the very things that my mother recommended was community service. Mm-hmm. I had done community service even before I could remember, helping out in very small parts in my church. Mm-hmm. By helping clean up, set up, handling the tech and the sound booth. I was around 6 years old when I started helping out cleaning around the church, and then I moved on to helping around the food ministry area. Mm-hmm. And then I considered, when you have to graduate as a Young Marine, you have to have a certain amount of community service hours. As a Young Marine, I just got to that minimum limit, and I said, I'm done. I don't need any more. I don't need to work anymore, because if I just want to move on, I can just find other things that I'm good at. But I was wrong, and finding that community service is a big basis in my life. I decided to join those between Young Marines. Hmm. So now I have been working with the food ministry on a weekly basis for, I believe, since I was around 7 years old. Mm-hmm. Every single Saturday we go out to the food ministry I help load up food, pack up food for people who can't go out and buy food for themselves.
Right.
I load up trucks. I help the drivers, and I give out food to people. I've been doing that for such a long time, and I have put every single hour that I get by the month into a community service packet that I've had for the past 6 years. So it has been a long road, and I'm very thankful about everything that's been happening lately, especially with this big reward. But I do know that this is not about me. It's not about me at all. The only thing that I've included about is helping the recognition and commemorating Colonel Peter Hilgartner. He was a great man. He was a great Marine. He served our country. He was probably, so far, what I've read about him, he's probably the most accomplished Marine I've ever read about.
Ah, interesting.
He has served a lot towards his country and helping others as much as he can. And I don't think there was another Marine that could do that. So, in all, I am thankful for this big reward, and I'm happy to be included in the commemoration of Colonel Peter Hilgartner.
Wonderfully said. That's so impressive, though, that you've been working since, as you said, 6 years old.
Now how old are you? How old are you now?
I am 14 years old, sir.
Wow,
So
and you're a very, very well-spoken and poised individual. It must be gratifying to have had this long experience of helping people with the food ministries to see how important it is for their lives, that you've been, doing this, and you can, I'm sure, see in their faces when you are, giving them what they need.
When you're helping out.
Yeah, when you're helping, it's very gratifying.
It's very, I always tell people that, every human being in the world has value, and whether you're a PhD, someone who's well educated, or someone who puts a roof on, or someone who digs a trench. There's many times I need someone to put a roof on a building or dig a trench, and I don't need a PhD. And every human being has value, and the value and the measurement of that value is equal, and it's totally equal. And we all of us, we're part of this planet and part of this earth. And the society says, and this is the service, all services, whether it's anywhere in the services. I don't like to use the word armed services because there's so much people do to help the society around them, be it bringing food or being helping them if they're hurt medically, or the big thing now is if there's a major catastrophe, a natural catastrophe, what's the first thing we do? We bring in the services to bring in food and shelter and water. Those are the basic elements of humanity, of life. When there was an oil spill, we send in the military to help clean it up. Of course, a tremendous amount of volunteers. And it's so important to volunteer. Unfortunately, the way the system works now is everything is based around money, but that's what the young Marines, and you mentioned yesterday that I like the way you said that yesterday during the video, the test show, where it had an organic movement to it, where it went from just trying to get volunteers for the Marines, organically. And you want to repeat that again, because you did that very well.
How the young Marines evolve?
How you evolve. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So you were asking about how I got involved, how the young Marines got me involved with it?
Yes, and how it evolved to going from just recruitment to going into what it's doing today.
Okay, yeah. So from a recruit to the community service, I think it was just 100 or 50 hours I just needed. And all I did was just yard work with my dad to get that done. And that's all I really needed. And I'm done. Then to move on to higher ranks, you need to move more for your service hours. So I believe for like total, you need another 100. So I moved on. I said, I'm just going to get the minimum, and then I'm done. That's basically what I have done until I reached about COPO, because I was COPO for about a year and a half. And I realized, again, I need to do something about this. I want to help out the community while being a good young Marine. And one thing that I found out I could do for that is community service. So far, the Young Marines itself, we do a lot of stuff, including joint command reduction presentations. So we don't exactly ourselves get credit for the presentation, but the hours that we put in every single 30-minute or / 45-minute presentation, we get is put towards a Presidential Pin Award. And this Presidential Pin Award is a medal and a pin given by the President for a certain amount of community service hours. If you believe me or not, I have only received this award once, while other young Marines in my unit have received it several times. Reason being was because I decided that I am going to get into heavy community service hours. I'm going to turn in my papers as much as I can. I'm going to focus on helping out the community, helping out others as much as I can, to show that I am a big supporter into this. Sorry, am I going too fast?
No,
You're doing fine.
You're going fine. Go ahead.
Okay, all right. I have a tendency to talk really fast, but all right. Thank you.
You're fine.
And I can see definitely a progression and a maturity for myself and for others through the community service hours. My church, my parents have all helped me move on to my progression. Because honestly, if I didn't have them to help me push on with my community service hours, help me push on to help the community and fulfill needs for other people, I would not be where I am today. So
I want to ask you a question, which is very interesting. I think that education is the most important thing. So I want to ask you, how much do you pay your parents to educate you?
Okay. So I believe if it's already put out, I am a homeschooler as of now.
Right.
So that was put out. So I am a homeschooler. But my parents themselves, they don't teach me themselves. I go through some catalog, an internet catalog, or a DVD catalog on my laptop or computer, and I do math or biology, writing, whatever there, English. When I was young, though, I'll let you know this. I don't think my mother is. I don't think my mother is exactly here right now, but I will let you tell. I will tell you this. She was very rough. She was a hard person when I was young, and when I tell people that, they don't usually believe me because of how nice my mom is. I tell them, no, she is, because I go, really? How? Well, if I told you that I learned how to read when I was 4 years old, and I got to 5th grade math when I was 6. You know who did that? My mom.
Your mom.
Okay. Well, see, the point I'm making is that the point I want to make is that that learning is not something you have to spend money on or put your life at jeopardy on to learn. So learning is the most important thing you can do. And let me ask you another question. You didn't get paid to learn, and you didn't get paid for community service. But what did you get out of the community service? And what I hear in your voice, what I hear in your voice now is something that is not about bragging about money or bragging about the community service itself. You've got something called satisfaction out of your learning process, and you also got satisfaction out of helping other human beings. Now, that to me is the biggest reward you can get. And if you can have if you have the time, the free time, the available time to help another human being, just like the colonel who we're honoring today. Once he retired, he spent a lot of time in community service. When he was, he enjoyed gardening. He enjoyed playing with his animals, and he enjoyed nature. And basically, you enjoy, from what I hear, you're enjoying the fact that your mother sort of beat you up, not physically, but beat you up to make sure you got your learning done. And you didn't pay her to do that. And if you went to school, why would you pay anyone to teach you something? You got satisfaction out of learning. And the more you learned, the more you realized how important it was for your mom and your dad to make sure you move forward.
And they got satisfaction out of seeing you learn.
Right. So satisfaction is a major, major portion of all human behavior. And what the military does, and I've looked at the military very differently than most people do, that in the military, when you join up, you got your basic needs met, your education, food, and shelter, and you have to perform. And the harder you work and the more educated you get, the higher your rank goes. And therefore, your wants in the military are different. But you get mainly satisfaction out of it. And I've watched scientists who were like if you study Pasteur or Einstein or you name the Tesla, they didn't work for money. They worked because they got tremendous satisfaction
out of what they were
doing, and therefore they excel. And that's what you're saying too, on a normal scale. Someone who's 15, 16 years old, my God, that's fantastic. Or 14 years old. 14 years old, you speak really well. You're enjoying and getting satisfaction out of what you're doing. And I think that's the biggest reward you can get, even though that's not the way our system works. It is the way humanity works. And I really want to commend you for that. And that's the whole point of the award, is to make sure people understand and respect the fact that all human beings helping humanity for the sake of if you want to be greedy about it, self-satisfaction. But I don't believe that. I believe that I get
there's an interaction.
Yeah, there's an interaction there.
Between what an individual gets satisfaction from and how they see it received by a community. And I think that's what you're experiencing at this point, and more, because you're sticking with it, and you're creating a theme for the beginning of your life where this is very important to you, to continue with community service. And it was the Young Marines and a combination of your parents and the Young Marines and just your life to this point that has gotten you to this very commendable place.
Go ahead.
Oh,
okay.
Go ahead, Ely.
I do understand what you're saying, and I do want to say it was a combination of my Young Marines, my parents, the friends and family. Another combination personally for me was my church and everything the church has done for me, and everything. Allow me to say this, if it's all right with you. Everything God has done for me too.
Mm-hmm.
If at first, you had a little bit of doubt in yourself, I've had a little bit of doubt.
Everybody has doubt.
I was going to successfully make this community service eligible, and how that honestly this wasn't really worth anything. I was honestly, I'll let you know this, a week before I got this email about the Citation Award, I started praying about what I should be doing. And honestly, I felt like I should just quit the Young Marines because there's nothing else I could do. I put in unlimited hours. I haven't reached the highest rank, but I haven't made any progression or promotion like that. But then I get this email for a citation award. And the only thing I started doing, I'll let you know, was jumping up screaming, saying, "Thank you, Lord."
Oh.
because it makes it worthwhile.
Yeah.
It makes it worthwhile.
You felt that it
Thank
was, you were reaching a larger place than and that there was some resonance going on in the rest of your community and beyond your community.
Interesting, because when I was very young, and when I say very young, probably 20s or 30s, and that's a long time ago for me. I actually used to buy the $100 a year lottery ticket. Not that I really wanted to win the lottery, but it was supposed to be a donation to schools. And I have a long walk down my road to get to the mailbox. And I was pretty depressed. I do all this social work, and I promote renewable energy. I've spent a lot of my lifetime doing that. I've been doing that since 1970. And this was about 1980, and I was really feeling down. And I wasn't really praying, but I was looking up, saying, would it be so bad? I put all my time and money into trying to promote renewable energy. And would it be so bad if I won the lottery a little, so I could do more? I want to do more. I want to help. I want to help humanity. I want to make sure we have renewable fuel, biomass fuel, renewable energy, solar, wind, and biomass fuels. And we go to conferences, and we built a robot that went around to conferences, and we did radio programming. We did so much work. So I get to the mailbox, and I was really going to give it up. And I opened the mailbox up, and there's a check from the New York State Lottery. I had won the lottery. And I opened it up, and it was $14.56 or something like that. So it was just someone saying to me, or some entity saying to me, "Hey, fool, keep on working. We respect it. Go ahead. Keep doing it. You're doing a good job." And that's the part I always wanted to get at. Does that ring a bell for you?
But it was only $15.
Yes, but it didn't matter. It was the fact that
you got recognition.
I got a sign. I had a sign from somewhere. And your 1 week prior to you wanting to give up your community work was a sign that you got that information. Does that sound familiar?
Yes, it does, sir. It does. I can completely relate to you about how the relief is of having the big doubt in yourself, but then something comes in, and your hope is lifted up again.
You get perks you up, right?
Well,
you said last night in the test that that you wanted to expand a little bit in your interest in the Young Marines, maybe get involved in their programs that try to help counsel youngsters about drugs and could you speak about that a little bit?
Yeah. Well, I'll let you know this. I'm involved with the program East Valley Young Marines, so that's my unit name. And we have very small unit, about 15 to 18 people, youngsters who are involved right now.
Yes.
But we have done so much. We are the #1 most requested youth color guard in the state of Arizona. We have done so much. We have combined community service hours. Almost all of our young Marines have the DEA device on their ribbons. We've all certified to teach about drug demand reduction and the Red Ribbon Week presentation. I mean, for just 16 people, 15 to 18 people. I mean,
that's a lot.
That's crazy. That's a lot to do. And on our 10-year anniversary that happened this past year, and I included my article in the Young Marines magazine, Esprit, our 10-year anniversary, we had our Deputy West Detector, Joe Lusigna, here. Basically, he's in charge of the entire West manufacturing and everything that goes on here for materials. And he comes to our anniversary and he says that East Valley has done in 10 years what he went to another unit that just celebrated their 50th anniversary.
Yeah.
East Valley has done twice as much as they have.
But congratulations.
Well,
to you.
yes, and now
Yeah,
the
and
question
to
is,
your group.
since you set the example,
The young Marines have done so much for me in developing my maturity, and I think it can do the same for others.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a young Marine that went from being a smack talker to his parents. His parents have been smoking, and they drink, and he is a roughhouser. He doesn't listen to anybody. He is completely disobedient.
Mm.
To become a corporal in the Young Marines and being one of the most high-strut, obedient, well-mannered kid I've ever seen. And just seeing that change happen to a young 15-year-old boy, just seeing that happen to him was just very surprising. His parents changed to what the information the Young Marines gave him too. And I mean, it was just shocking about how this small little program, I mean, everybody knows about the Boy Scouts, but when you see Young Marines, you're like, what? What is that? Never heard of them before.
Mm-hmm.
It is a very big program, a very big recommendation for myself, for anybody between the ages of 8 to 18 to join. It changed me morally. How I got in was because of a fellow homeschooler recommended it to my parents.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was a staff sergeant at the time. Now he's a gunnery sergeant, I believe. And he recommended it to me. And I said, yeah, sure, I'll join. Before I joined, I'll let you know this. I was short. I was a little stubby. The only thing I was good at was just mental work. My speaking abilities were off the wall crazy. I mean, I would say 4,000 ums in a single sentence. I would repeat myself. Yeah, over and over and over again. And then the Young Marines helped me progress in everything. They helped me progress in my maturity, my physicality, how to grow up and treat other people, about drug human reduction, and about everything. They found something I was not good at, and they helped me grow in that part, especially physically. I went from a 15-minute and 13-second mile run to a 4-minute and 32-second mile run.
So not only are they trying to form how you're thinking about yourself, they're also trying to form physically your health and your physical capacity and develop how you your endurance essentially.
Well, I think it's what you're saying. What I hear you saying is the Young Marines concept broadened your life scope, your views of life. Is that correct?
Yes, it adjusts you and it turns you into the greatest person you can be. If you end up in the right unit, if you end up in the right group of people, they will make you active. If you are a low-ranking instead of a high-ranking unit, they will treat you still as a team member. My unit, one of our abbreviations is TEAM. Together, everyone accomplishes more. And that's what's happening.
That's interesting.
That's the whole point of
together, everyone accomplishes more.
That's the whole point of the human renewable energy measure. Is we are part of the world team. No human being in the world should beg for food or shelter. No human being in the world should be cut out of education. No human being in the world should have that problem. And that's what the human renewable energy measure is about. And we've actually measured it in physics. And this is something.
I can see that. I can see that definitely.
So I mean, matter of fact,
a while ago with my old unit in the Young Marines, there was this man who had a very large yard. He had high weeds. He had a torn up tree, and he asked our unit to come over and help him do his yard work. At the time, we were about 30 people, and we brought all our yard tools and everything, And the young Marine in charge, who was a sergeant at the time, says, yeah, you go do this, you go do this, let's do this, we can do this, we're going to pick these, we're going to pick these. And then this man had about twice the size of an average yard.
Yeah.
And we got it done in about 130 minutes.
Well, hold it. We have an institute that we are running now, which is about 150 acres. So if you guys have the young Marines around Albany, New York, we could use you. And we're opening up the institute to help religious cooperation. It's the Institute for Religious Cooperation and Renewal of the Earth. And we need as many young people to help get this going and keep it running. We have trails, nature trails we walk in. We're in the process of doing the legal work for it to get it legally set up like that. But that's exactly, and the key word there is many hands make light of work. I mean, this is, and we all come together. And when we come together as a species, not in cooperation, not in competition, we can accomplish so much. But the minute we go into competition is when we're stifled as far as what other people could do because when you give your thoughts of how you're helping humanity and how you help other people, and you're suggesting other people join in to help other people, this is not in competition, it's in cooperation. And if people cooperated, the job you did in 10 years that took someone, you did it in 5 times faster than another group. If they learned how you did it and they had the ambition to cooperate, they would just be just as fast. And eventually, you get better ideas to even move faster with the right tools, as you mentioned earlier. You all brought your tools in. So you see where I'm going with that, right?
Yes, sir. I completely agree. I completely outright agree.
Well, I'm really sorry that we didn't get your video on here, but if you want to see
Jascha J
on video and talking and we spoke to his family and his brother and his mom. We're on the video. Go to our test program, which was on
yesterday,
which was the 9th of this month, and you'll see the video of them, which I didn't expect to go live with, but it is live. And you can probably contact him with his email if you choose to, because his email is on that program. So you can email him if you want. And of course, you can email us at Bridges Programming. And you can also get involved with the Young Marines. And remember that there's been people through all services. And
the Young Marines are all throughout the country.
They're all throughout the country.
Right.
But this is a week to honor all service people. And we're going to be doing a show tomorrow, hopefully, if the technical stuff works well. We're on travel, so it's very hard to get this to work the way it normally would. But please, the people who've been spending their lives dedicated to the military and dedicated to helping people, just like the priests and the rabbis and the imams and all the people who try to help humanity, they should be honored, not just for this week, but for all times. People who help other people should be honored. I want to thank you for being with us.
And congratulations, Ely, on getting the first annual Pete Hilgartner Award for Community Service. And you well deserve it.
And then in the process of we're going to be going out with the Energy Song. Thanks again for listening. We'll be back again tomorrow with our normal scheduled programming. Thanks so much.
Because they closed the factory, tries to stretch your paycheck, it's never quite enough for energy. It all comes down to energy. You wonder where the money's gone, it's the fuel for thought. It all comes down to energy. Fossil fuel affects our life, it ripples on a lake. cars and farms and factories and trucks. Supplies go down, prices soar, our future starts made. And when it's gone, it won't come back, and we'll be out of luck. Oh, energy, energy. It all comes down to energy. You wonder where the money's gone, but listen, feel for thought. It all comes down to energy. We can get our energy from corn and grass and trees. Even trash converts to biofuels. Break loose from the stranglehold of oil companies. Renewables can fuel the world. We're here to spread the news of energy, energy. It all comes down to energy. You wonder where the money's gone, well, listen, feel for thought. It all comes down to energy.